Yes, guys, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Another episode of Arsenal Sensible Transfers. I think this is episode 4. We did talk about Saul Niguez. We talked about Saul Niguez. We talked about Emerson. We talked about did we talk about Paulo Dybala as well? So today in this section of Arsenal Sensible Transfers, we're going to be looking at two players. One is Yves Bissouma. He's been linked with us, through and through, and I'm going to tell you what Fabrizio Romano said about this deal, and I'm also going to tell you much about Emi Buendia and why I think they fit into that picture of Arsenal sensible transfers. So smash the like button, settle, comment with your opinion about what you think about Emi Buendia, what you think about Yves Bissouma. I also need to know who you think is the priority for Arsenal in the window. If you just had to get one of them, who would it be? Would it be Yves Bissouma? Would it be Emi Buendia? And smash the like button, of course. Subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification bell. You'll be able to see me when I come live, and you will also be able to see every upload the channel makes. So join me on this journey. We are going to be discussing much about Yves Bissouma, how he fits at Arsenal, and Emi Buendia. But before that, let us look at the news around these two players, linking them with Arsenal, because these are no new names. These are no new figures when it comes to Arsenal being linked with players. Bissouma, first and foremost, I think he's exciting. He's one of those players that are very, very, very exciting for Arsenal fans. Whenever his name is fronted, you can see the reaction. I can see how much you guys love Yves Bissouma. I hope the mic is okay. It's not overly shouting. Yeah, it isn't. So Bissouma has been linked with Arsenal before. His name has been there, and many Arsenal fans appreciate him as a player. Fabrizio Romano was speaking on the Arsenal lunch last time, and he said, yes, right now there is no anything agreed. There is nothing very serious going on, but Arsenal did contact the player's agents, and they contact the player. They're very, very interested in signing him and bringing him at the Emirates Stadium. Arteta rests the player. He likes him. Edu likes the player as well. We have already contacted the player ahead of a potential move. And if you still remember, in January, I think that is where his name actually was fronted so much, because for the fact I thought we were gonna bring in a seriously, we were gonna bring in a big money transfer in January, because we were really struggling in December and November. But what actually happened is we brought in we brought in Martin Odegaard on a loan deal from Real Madrid. He has not done poorly. I think many Arsenal fans are gonna be, because that's all we could do, and it's a good deal, isn't it? But I think Bissouma has been very, very, very good this season. He's one of those players that you think have manned the midfield areas of their team. Of course, I still question the reason as to why Brighton are where they are this season. I think it could be the reason that they're not scoring goals, because for me, I see them as a club that have quality in their side. Players like Solimatch, players Bissouma, players like Lamptey, players like Mope. They have some good players in there. You just ask yourself, why aren't they probably around 11th, 12th, around there? But I think they might not get relegated, and of course that makes it very, very hard for Arsenal to get Bissouma. His price tag, if you ask me, is gonna be around £50 million. There are no questions about that. The moment, and the good thing is not English, that is very, very good. But the moment Brighton confirmed that they will not be relegated, his price tag is going to be not less than £45 million. So I think it's going to be around £50 million. Can Arsenal do such a deal? Yes, you can. You can do it. And we're also going to look at how Arsenal could line up with Yves Bissouma and what he would add to this football club. Okay, let's look at the news around Emi Buendia first before we go into much of the technical analysis and everything. Look, I think one of the players that have had 2 good seasons consecutively is Emi Buendia. He's had a very good season in the Premier League with Norwich. He's had a very good team, a very good league, Premier League, Championship, Championship league, season with still Norwich in the Championship. And I think Arsenal, if we do not retain the signature of Odegaard, look, I would just go for Emi Buendia. We were linked with him in January. We thought it was a deal that was going to happen. Fabrizio Romano said something was in the pipeline. I still remember that. He said something was, a deal was in the pipeline. A bid was in the pipeline. It never happened. It just never happened. So probably, could it be something that is going to happen in the summer? I also would want to ask myself such a question, whether Arsenal would go for Buendia in the summer, because when Fabrizio says there is something big in the pipeline, what does that mean? And of course, he was speaking about transfers on the Arsenal and said, this is a player Arsenal love. This is a player Mikel loves. Probably the first choice is now Martin Odegaard. But if we fail to get Odegaard, then we might go for Emiliano Buendia. Around 45 or 40 million pounds is what we will have to pay, or that is what we had to pay in January. So probably in the summer, whether it will depend on whether Norwich come in top flight football. If they come, it might be a little bit expensive because they might want to use him for the season. But if they do not actually come, then it would be a little bit cheaper. So we are going to look at exactly how these players would impact our playing style. And I hope you guys will join me on this journey and feel very, very comfortable. So smash the like button. Get in your comments about these two players. I really want to know what you think about these two as we go into the technical analysis of both players there. So first and foremost, we are going to look at Yves Bissouma and what he would actually add to Arsenal, what he would actually give us as a club, what he would actually, why do we need such a player next to Thomas Partey, probably, because I've gone with Emi Buendia, Yves Bissouma and Thomas Partey. You can see I'm trying to force Partey wider in the midfield to create space for Emi Buendia, because this is Alexander Lacazette, so probably could have Buendia around there, then pushing Partey and pushing Bissouma around there. So that could be Arsenal playing in the that could be our starting 11 if you have Buendia and you have Bissouma. Probably you would have most likely you would have Martin Odegaard in this area, but because we are talking about these two players, Emi Buendia and Yves Bissouma, I've decided to go for those two. So first and foremost, what do we expect out of Bissouma as Arsenal? What would he offer to the club? Why do we need a player like Bissouma? It's very, very important, very crucial to talk about it. First and foremost, I think Bissouma is highly talented, very, very highly talented, and his area of work is this one. So I think this is where, let me just stretch it a little bit, yeah. So I think this is where Bissouma is going to be. Can I make it blue? Yeah. So I think this is where you're going to see a lot of Bissouma, basically in that area. Not so much of advancing, but what I think he will do is he's going to come back when we do not have the ball and try to make this a defensive line of five, and then Thomas Partey would come a little bit central in that area. That's what I expect when we do not have the ball. When we have the ball in possession, because Mikel Arteta, we have already seen Mikel Arteta likes to play football from the back. It's something that is not going to change, I think, right about now. So probably Leno starts the ball to Chambers. This is our distribution chain for quite some time now. That is how we start our game. We no longer have these long balls. Sorry for that. We no longer have these long balls from goalkeeper to to wherever he wants to put it. No, it's all about getting this ball and starting to distribute it evenly in these areas. So what you would have with Yves Bissouma is because we've seen Arsenal concede a goal. I think it was against Burnley. Leno distributes the ball to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka was in this area and he was just arriving, and then Xhaka tries to put the ball across, then he fails, and then we concede. But I think Bissouma, the confidence Bissouma has is very, very key to our playing style, because Mikel Arteta says he wants to play that build up football, build up from the back, build up from the goalkeeper. Then you need that's why I think then we would need a player like Yves Bissouma. And for me, in my own thoughts, I think it's gonna be charged with distribution of the ball, not so much in advanced areas, but trying to make sure that everybody gets a share of the ball. So it's going to be like just to do this. So I think when you get a player like Bissouma, he is going to make sure that everyone gets the ball. He's going to create the linkages in that midfield. Now, you ask me, is Xhaka doing that? I think he's doing it, but not at the level Bissouma would, not at the level you would want to, do it. Of course, you can't forget the fact that we are also looking at Arsenal getting into dangerous areas, and I think I still Bissouma, because we saw this with Thomas Partey against Sheffield United. He was more of getting into these areas, moving forward, forward the pitch, and trying to take advantage of this area. And if you look at the goal he created for Lacazette, a little bit here, Partey just here, and then he slides that ball through, for Alexander Lacazette, and Lacazette takes one touch, and the rest is history. A historical goal, a typical historical Arsenal goal. So I think when you have Bissouma, that's what you have. Let me just try to have the ball. So if you have the ball in this area, probably the ball heading this side, you have Bissouma around here trying to put a barrier, kind of barrier, to our defensive line, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a little bit of security on your defensive line, because rebuilding is shaky. So we have a poor defensive line unless we improve it in the summer, but it's not the best, especially when you have rebuilding in there. So I think what would Bissouma would give us is that protection. He adds that layer to the back line. Now, this is not what Partey gives us, and I think it would give Partey the freedom to be a little bit advanced, because if you have Bissouma around here, for example, if Arsenal are in possession of the ball, you have Bissouma around here, and then you'd have Thomas Partey a little bit advanced. So you have Bissouma distributing the ball, probably to Emi Buendia around there. Then that means you have Partey moving all over the midfield, trying to create these spaces, getting this ball in this area, trying to pass it, receive it back, get it there, because that is what Partey is good at. He's good at passing that ball forward as he gets it back and then takes it back forward. Bissouma is good at distributing that ball throughout the midfield and making sure that everybody has the ball. So that's what I would do with Bissouma in that Arsenal lineup. I still use him in a 4-2-3-1 formation. I have no issues with that. With that there. Now, Emi Buendia is another kind of player for me. He's just different, and if Arsenal are not going to use him the way he plays football, we might not actually get the best out of him. That's the truth. So I think Buendia is a brilliant player. Very, very brilliant. Thank you so much. Well done, Kosi. Thank you so much. I can see the comments. Buendia is highly technical, good for both feet. Thank you so much. Riza, thank you so much. And Wendera says, hi, Kosi. Thank you so much. Let's continue with the analysis. So that is Bissouma traveling through the midfield. But Emi Buendia is another kind of player. Look, and I'm going to say this. First and foremost, I want Martin Odegaard in this area, because what Odegaard gives us is a little bit so comfortable. He makes us very, very comfortable. He makes Arsenal players look good, especially on going forward. One of the issues I had before Odegaard being introduced into this side was Arsenal players having the ball and they couldn't pass it 10 yards because they're short of confidence. That was my problem. My advantage with Odegaard is he has introduced this kind of play at Arsenal that everyone gets the ball, whether it's Partey, he gets the ball, and he feels confident because there is that person who's very close to you. I wish I could just create an Odegaard around here. Okay, let me just create one Odegaard, and I'm going to use now 12 players, which is not acceptable, is it? Something not acceptable there. But let's use Odegaard, right? So probably the role of Odegaard why I think Arsenal should go for him is he's gonna be in this advanced position like you want any number 10. But what he does is when he passes the ball to Bukayo Saka, he comes closer to him, so Saka can make a pass to Lacazette or decide to go back to Martin Odegaard. When he gets that ball and passes it to Gabi Martinelli, what he does is gonna make that move closer to Martinelli, so Martinelli can either go for an attacking pass or a move up forward, or if he feels like I'm not going any further, he can fall to Martin Odegaard. If he gives it to Alexander Lacazette, I think this is the reason that's why I think Lacazette is so good with Odegaard and Smith Rowe. They are these players that pass the ball and come closer to you. I give you the ball. Do you have anything to do with it? No, I think I'm not going any forward. Give it back to me. He has created that kind of confidence in Arsenal players. He's created that kind of confidence in Arsenal as a team that when you get the ball and there is nowhere you're going, you can fall back to him, and you can see the level at which he keeps the ball is highly maximum. He rarely gets dispossessed and he rarely makes the blind passes. I think that confidence comes from his ability as a player to control the game. It's more like Grealish. If you have seen Grealish play at Aston Villa, and I'm sorry to refer to players that are not ours because the quality at Arsenal is a little bit shaky, but if you've seen Grealish, what he does at Aston Villa, he gives you that ball. For example, he's going to play with to Ole Watkins. If Ole Watkins feels he's not going to take a shot away, he's going to fall back to Grealish. Then Grealish will give it to El Ghazi. Then he'll distribute it to, who's that guy? Bakayoko. Then he's going to, give it to whoever is that midfield, Joe McGinn. But what he does, he makes sure that when you get that ball and, you feel under intense pressure, give it back to him because he has the quality to retain that ball in space and to retain that ball even in tight angles and spaces. So that is the beauty with Martin Odegaard, and that's why I think he should be our number 10. The beauty with Emi Buendia is he is a support striker. That is the beauty with Emi Buendia, and you would have him as as a Paulo Dybala. Good, this just came into my head, and I was like, okay, so Buendia would be like a Paulo Dybala because what you have with Paulo Dybala, and I cannot create Paulo Dybala in this lineup, but what you have with Paulo Dybala is he goes for goal. That is it, and Buendia as well goes for goal. They're those kinds of number 10 that want to score goals. They're those kinds of number 10s that want to get the ball in and to score goals and have the ball in that area where they can score. So I think Buendia would be so good if you're playing a player like pierre-emerick Aubameyang. So let's put Auba here, and I'm going to show you my reasons as why I would play Auba there in the number 9 position. I hope it's visible. So the reason as why I would play Auba in that number 9 position alongside Emi Buendia, of course, it would look like this. Buendia as the number 10, ideally as the support striker, and then pierre-emerick Aubameyang, as our striker. For me, the good thing with that is Aubameyang is not so much of a central striker. He loves going to the left or going to the right or coming back and fetching the ball throughout this area. So probably Auba is going to be scoring more goals off the left. So he creates this space, and you have Emi Buendia occupying that space. So you have Emi Buendia going a lot for goal, and what that gives you is you don't get goals from one source. If Aubameyang is down, Buendia is going to have lots and lots and lots of space, to score goals. But the other also good thing about Emiliano Buendia is this. So Saka is there, Aubameyang is there, Gabi Martinelli is around here, and then you have Buendia around here, Partey, and Bissouma will be supporting him, and will be feeding him with the ball, of course, with the Rob Holdings and the Pablo Maris and the Kieran Tierney's. They'll be giving him that ball. They'll be trying to look out for him because he has the technical ability. So what you want there is, you want to see what is Emi Buendia actually going to do with this ball. So the very good thing with him is he has the ability to create those chances, create for our bar. This ability to pass in this area for Saka to meet it, this ability to pass from Martinelli for any winger of Martinelli or Pepe to miss it, and that's why I think, because he's played in the Premier League, because he's played in the Championship. Look, I'll just go for him. Yeah, I'll just go for him. I'll just go, for him. So that is those are my thoughts on those two players, Bissouma and Emi Buendia. If you want to give me your opinion, use the comment box, and I'm also you could also call in. It's okay. You could also call in. I'll be able to get your calls and react to what you guys have to say. But it's been quite interesting for me. It's an episode, and I really do like. I do love Arsenal sensible transfers because they give us an insight, and I use them to provide an insight on what Arsenal should actually be doing out there in the transfer summer. So, if you like to support the channel, use the super chat button. It is on, but you could also use my numbers to support me. Buy me some data across Africa. Those numbers will be working for you, and in Europe, you could use any money apps. They will be working for you. Reason I say is Yves Bissouma is class. Would be great signing, strong, fast, great awareness of space around him. It allows him to cut a play, but also redistribute the ball exactly. And I think that's the beautiful thing with Yves Bissouma. I think all the attributes you've talked about, he has them. He's strong, he's fast, he has great awareness, and the good thing I love about him is his ability to pass that ball, distribute it without dropping it. I'm just so tired of Arsenal players giving away the ball, trying to make a pass 7 yards, and then you're giving away the ball. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. So if you want to join in, the link is in the comment section already. We should be streaming for the next 8 minutes, and I'll call it a stream. I'll come back at exactly 9:30 for the last stream of the day. Thank you so much, Rizan. Says Buendia as well, a highly technical, good of both feet, great energy, and playing incisively. I think also the good thing with Emi Buendia is when he has the ball, he's progressive. He likes to go forward. Look, I have issues with Dani Ceballos, and one of the issues I have with Ceballos is he's always trying to turn. I don't know why he's always trying to turn. I don't know why he's trying to turn and go back, and I like progressive players, and I think Emi is such a very, very progressive guy. That's why I really love about him. Thank you so much, Mojuma says well done, Kosi. Bissouma is also very creative. It goes unnoticed. He has immaculate skills on the ball. He likes to drift and dictate play, controlling the tempo. Big up Riza. That's a good eye. That's a very, very good eye. And I can't say that you're wrong, because at times, when we look at Bissouma, much of what we are looking at is how he distributes the ball. At times we forget to look at how he would be, how he's creating, how he's going with all those things. But probably I would love to look at his creative part of the game a little bit better. Odegaard runs onto his own pass exactly, and can find space in between the lines. However, Grealish is much better player purely because he's more fearless and willing to take the game to the opponent. Of course, I think that's the difference. That's the difference. And both players can play in the same team. I don't know whether you agree with me, Reza, but I think both players can play in the same team. You could have Odegaard in the same team as well as Grealish. Grealish is more of forward going. Odegaard is more of ball controlling and game controlling. Give me that ball, I'll pass it forward. But if I'm not going anywhere, I'll try to fall back. That is Martin Odegaard. What Grealish gives you is I'm going forward and I'm going to go. I'm going for goal. That is it. But I think they're both wonderful, wonderful players. Grealish on the left, Odegaard through the middle, down through the middle. You'd have such a fantastic team. We played good football yesterday. This is the relentless. Look, that was impressive. I was really impressed. And when I was speaking on my match reaction, I said that's the kind of football Arsenal should be, aiming to play at a higher level. You need an upgrade. You need more. You need to add something. That is not where you want Arsenal. But that was okay. That was okay. Against Slavia Praha, if you just add a little ingredients to that performance, we are through. Yeah. So I think it was a good performance. Really, 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 a very, very good performance. Have Relentless on. He's gonna be sharing with us what he wants to say, and if you want to share your opinion, obviously it's as easy as calling in and giving me what you think. Okay, here we go. How are you doing, Relentless?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine as well. Been talking about, I just created this segment of Arsenal sensible transfers because I felt like Arsenal just we just need to talk about the poor transfer decisions we've been making. So, like, I mean, there's been rumors that we are linked with Jesse Lingard, and in my own opinion, I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would we be linked with with Jesse Lingard? Just let me just take this from Riza. He says, "Have you heard of Gravenberch? Many teams are after him, but I think he would suit us. He plays for Ajax. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. I'll try to check more about him. I don't want to actually really go for players that
Yeah,
have
because
not
Yeah,
really."
because you can hear echo.
There's an echo.
or maybe
Yeah, maybe I'm
yesterday
yesterday
there
there
was
was
echo
echo
as
as
well.
well. But I went on another
I didn't
stream.
hear
I didn't
echo.
hear
Maybe
echo. Maybe
your stream.
your stream.
Okay.
Um,
Are you
yeah, but
hearing
I
an
Yeah, but
can
echo?
hear
I
you
Are you,
can hear
fine
you
when
fine. It's just
I
that when
speak.
I speak, it's that.
you can hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
yeah, I
you,
can hear you,
but I can
Okay.
hear
but I can hear
myself.
myself.
I don't know why you're hearing yourself. You can hear because for me I'm not hearing any echo.
Mm.
Mm.
I mean,
Okay.
I mean,
it's not
it's
a big
not
deal,
a big
but
deal, but
Let me try to. Are you still hearing yourself?
yep. No,
Are you
I
still
don't hear
hearing it?
myself though.
Okay. I think it's with the echo cancellation. So, first and foremost, what are your thoughts on Bissouma as a player, especially this season? I think it's been so good, and everyone is excited to have him, in their side. United, I've seen United fans, feel like, they should be going for Bissouma because they need that, defensive midfielder. What are your thoughts on Bissouma?
Um, yeah, I rate him. I rate him as a player. I think he's good, man. He breaks up play really well. He's a good tackler. Sometimes he's a bit reckless, but I mean, we had Mustafi and flipping Shaka, so I guess it's not that bad. But nah, if I had to choose, yeah, I actually put him in Partey in a the defensive pivot because I think they do really well, and he just to have him as well. I think he's not as good as Partey, but for me, he's that guy that can break the play. He gives away like smart fouls sometimes. And nah, he'd be a good addition, man. I rate him. I think he's decent, man.
My question and my concern with Bissouma in that area is, do we need someone who's a little bit more defensive than Thomas Partey, or do we need someone who's a little bit more progressive than Thomas Partey? Because if you had to go for Bissouma and Awa, I would go for Awa because I think Awa is a little bit more progressive as a player. Who do you think is the better player of the two? Okay, who do you think would be the better for Thomas Partey as a partner? Is it Bissouma who's a little bit more defensive, or of course, allowing Thomas Partey to go in front and become the progressive player, or would you go for Awa who's progressive, making Thomas Partey a little bit more defensive?
It's tricky because it depends on who the manager is. It depends
Mm.
on who the manager is because even like we play Shaka, who's more defensive, and we still get cut open. We still concede a bunch of goals. So really, it depends if you get the right if you get the right manager. If we're gonna still have Arteta, then we have to get Bazuma because we're not gonna be able to play. attacking football under, like, we're not gonna be able to play attacking football under Arteta. So if you get another manager like Ancelotti or something like that, then you could get a progressive player like Aouar, because right now we can't afford to have another, not luxury player, but another attacking flair player when we can't really defend. You know what I mean? So it depends on who the manager is. But if Arteta's still here, then yeah, I'll say Bissouma. But if Arteta leaves, then I'll say Aouar.
Yeah, look, the reason as to why I love our or I would go for our is we just need to create chances. I'm just tired of this, tendency where Arsenal, fail to create chances in games, and we fail to move that ball forward. But before Bissouma, why I would actually love him is it gives you that assurance. You're rest assured that your defensive backline is very, very, very safe. Emi Buendia on the other side, again, another player linked with Arsenal, but the rumors have actually cooled down a little bit. That's why I decided to talk about him at this point in time. But if we don't retain Odegaard, is he the player you're going for, or would you go for a kind of like Dybala?
My dream would be Jack Grealish, but we can't get Jack Grealish. There's no way he's coming, man. For me,
Yeah.
Jack Grealish is top three players in the league right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's top three. I think he's the best. He's the best English player in my opinion right now. So for him, we have to pay 80 million to get him, but he would never come to Arsenal, man. He would never. But for me, I'll probably get, if you want to be cheap, you can get Buendia, because I think Buendia is quality. He's also coming up with Norwich next season. So really, I don't know if we could get him, because I think Norwich are getting promoted, and I don't think we're going to be in Europe next season. We might not be in Europe next season, so it doesn't really. I'm not too sure what's going to happen with that, but if we are in Europe this next season, we should be going for like a Dybala, because I don't think Dybala, Pirlo is really playing Dybala at Juve. I don't think he's playing him. So
Yeah.
I mean, if we at least get in Europe, maybe we can get Dybala. But if we don't, I'll probably say, yeah, get Buendia, because I think Buendia is probably, he's one of the best technical footballers in the championship. He's been one of the players of the season for Norwich. So yeah, I'll definitely take him. He's a good player.
You know what? I read Dybala. I think I'm one of those people that really read Dybala, but I would just take Buendia over Dybala, and that's just in my opinion. I think Buendia is a little bit more of a hard player. Is a little bit more of a fighter than Dybala. Dybala is so much of a technically gifted player. He's so good, very, very good. But I just wonder whether he's going to, whether he would adapt easily to the Premier League. But
I think he would. He would.
You think
Because
he would?
people were saying the same stuff about James Rodriguez, saying, "Oh, he's gonna get eaten alive in the Premier League," and he comes to the Premier League. He's been Everton's best player this season. Sometimes in the Premier League, we get confused and say, "Oh yeah, they need to run a lot. They need to do this a lot. They need to do this, that, and third, whatever, whatever, whatever." You've seen technical players come to this Premier League and absolutely eat the league alive. Like, you've seen Dimitri Payet at West Ham. People were saying, "Oh, he's weak," blah blah blah. Look what he did when he first came. Look at Hazard. Look at all these players. If Neymar came, people say Neymar can't come to the Premier League. If he came, he would be the player of the season. He'd be the best player in the league. So for me, like, yeah, he might not be the most physical, but he's technical. And when you're technical and you're not physical and you're small, you have a small center of gravity, you can win fouls, you can ease pressure off the team, you can carry with the ball. Like, you don't always have to be built like Wayne Moody, you understand? You can be a small guy. You don't have to be like that big. You can still dominate the league. So for me, I think Dybala, if we give him minutes and you give him time to get his quality back, I don't see why. I'd rather have him over Williams. He's rubbish, bro. I'd rather have him. I think he'd do well.
Yeah, I think the only advantage with that deal is I don't think Juventus are going to ask for a lot of money. The reason there is he's in his last year of his contract, and he's not been he's not having the best of times at Juventus. That's the only reason as why I would go it for that deal. It's just too good economic ways. And Fabrizio was saying that this man is in the last year of his contract. Arsenal should be doing such deals, but then you have Arsenal not looking at such deals. It's quite very saddening. But Reza says Thomas Partey and Bissouma are quick to win the ball back and quick to move it forward, either through a dribble or a pass. They are good at pressing and then moving it on quickly. Progressive football. Big up, Reza. Swish says Bissouma is progressive with his play. He isn't a classic central defender. He's naturally gifted as a playmaking central midfielder, whereas Partey is more technically aware. Oh my God, the technical terms. I think it's because I did something technical, on the board. But I think for me, I read both players. My only worry there was, aren't we bringing in players that are so much of similar? That was my only worry. And we bring in players that are so similar. But if you guys feel these players could actually work together in the same team, why not? We should actually go for them. But I just want to talk about one or two things. I don't know whether you guys relentless what you were on, but I was talking about Jesse Lingard in the first live stream today, and I said I don't know why Arsenal is linked with GSA, but it's having with all the respect, it's having a good season, very very good season.
Yeah, we've
Uh,
we've always been linked. We've always been linked with Justin. This is not the first time. It's
yeah,
just
but
lazy. I don't think it's true. I just think it's lazy journalism by the English press, man. It's
yeah,
lazy, man. I knew we were gonna be linked with him. I just knew it.
yeah,
It's lazy,
but
man. I don't think it's true.
do you see him as the Arsenal kind of player or Mikel Arteta kind of player?
Uh, yeah, I do think he. I like to compare him to Bruno
Mm,
because I do think. How do I say this? I do like Bruno. I don't think he's as good as people say he is, but I do like Bruno and the fact that he gives you goals, he gives you assists, and but for me, I think I think he's similar to Bruno in terms of like midfield. He can play on the wing. He can play. I think he played false nine before. He plays on the right. He's technically good. He can carry the ball. He has that fighting spirit. I mean, I would like him at Arsenal, but he'll never come to Arsenal. Like, I don't think he'll come to Arsenal. That bridge, I think that bridge to another London club like us has burned, especially with his affiliation to United and the
mm.
fact that our fans already don't really like him that much because he milli rocked and moonwalked at the Emirates and all that. And he was dancing and whatnot. So I don't think the fans would probably like him. But if he comes into this team, I think he'd be one of our best players, if not our best player. But I mean, like I said, I would like him, but I don't really see him coming to the club.
You know what? I don't know whether this is really funny, but I don't rate him as a player. I don't rate him as a person. I just don't rate him. I don't know why, but I've not seen the best of him. And I think, like you said, lazy journalism, people trying to pick stories of Jesse Lingard's good run. He's 28, and at 28, I've not seen the best of Jesse Lingard. Probably, if he gives us a season, that I would start rating him probably. But I've not really seen the best of Jesse Lingard. I've just seen sneak peeks of Lingard. He scores a winner, I think, in the FA Cup for was it Louis van Gaal, things like that. I've not really seen much of Lingard to prove to me that he is worth even playing at Arsenal. But Swiss says Jesse Lingard has not got a winner's mentality. He's nothing like Bruno Fernandes. He has no real desire or quality whatsoever.
Nah, man, no, 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 no. I highly disagree. Listen, the reason why people dislike Jesse Lingard is one because he moonwalked at the Emirates. Because he moonwalked in the Emirates and turned the Emirates into a disco, yeah, and turned it into a music video. They don't like him because he's flashy. He dances a lot. This guy has not played football consistently for about 2 years. He
Yeah,
came to West Ham, turned that football club around. I know they were doing well before him, but he moved them up a level. This is what people aren't understanding. The
Yeah.
reason why I compare him to Bruno is because he can get the goals from midfield. Bruno gets goals from midfield. I'm not comparing his mentality. I'm talking about in terms of a midfielder that can get goals from midfield. That's all I said. I didn't say, oh, he's mentality. I didn't say all that. Listen to us. I said that he can get goals. And for me, if he was to walk into this team, he would be probably on the way he's playing right now. He'd be our best player. Best player, 100% be our best player. He'd be our best player. And I'm not saying he's a leader. I'm talking about his technical ability, his versatility to play on the wing, his work rate. He always work for you. People just think he doesn't. It's not only goals he scores. This is not Dele Alli we're talking about. We're not talking about Dele Alli. We're talking about Jesse Lingard. He can score goals. There's a reason why he's back in England. He can score goals. He has the work rate. He has the passion. And if anything kicks off in the pitch, he's always there to back his teammate, even though he's the smallest guy on the pitch. You understand? This guy has passion. Don't get it messed up with all the flashy stuff he does. He has passion. He has
Mm.
technical ability on the ball. Yeah, he might not be the greatest passer, but he can move the ball quickly. You know the football we were playing yesterday. Yesterday we actually played decent football. The one-touch passing. Imagine we had Jesse Lingard in that team. A full confident Jesse Lingard. Can you imagine? We would actually be a good team. And so for me, I'm not saying that he's the bee's knees. He's the next Neymar. What I'm saying for the English Premier League, he is a very very good player. He's a player that can get you good performances week in week out and get you 20 goals, 25 goals and assists in a season. For me, that's what he can do, and he's showing people that's what he can do. Even when he was at United, I was saying, oh, Jesse Lingard, yeah, you guys like to banter him, but he always had he can play. He can play him for Man United if he wants to. He can play for Man United if he wants to. But what I'm saying is like when he went to West Ham, he had a platform to express himself, and now you see what he's doing. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you give him the platform, I don't see why he can't be a blessed player that can lead a team.
You
We're
know,
seeing it right now.
I just thought I just talked about this in my live stream. I don't know whether it's true, but for me he looks like this kind of player. This kinds of player that he's good when he's playing for West Ham. He's good playing for team mid table, but it's not so good when he's when you put him in that in a team like Arsenal, a team that is with a lot of pressure. But if you put him in West Ham, where he's going to of course West Ham is mid table. Their ambitions, they're non champions in Champions League. They don't have those ambitions. I think he would do better in a club that doesn't have that pressure.
Mhm.
Everton, West Ham, Southampton. I think because what we've seen him do at West Ham is nobody's playing a low block against West Ham. Everyone is playing free flowing football against West Ham because West Ham is mid table and it's going to have a lot of space to run. But if you're playing, for us now, like against Sheffield, look at the goals we created. That pass from Thomas Partey, again the Ceballos flick on. I think it's more of you either have to go to take on players, to create chances, or you have to be individually extra brilliant. So, do you think he would? Do you think he is a big team player?
A big team player, as in he can do it at a big club.
Like, for example,
See,
when
the
you
reason why Ole Gunnar
when you,
Solskjaer,
when you put Benteke at Liverpool, he doesn't deliver. When you take him back
yeah,
to West Villa or Crystal Palace, he
because
delivers.
one thing you guys have to understand, Kosi and the people in the chat, one thing you have to understand, yeah, is
Mm.
that people look at Jesse Lingard and he has a bad stigma around him. People don't. I'm not saying he's a victim or blah blah blah. What I'm saying is that the reason why all of a sudden you guys are, trying to not bash him, but say, oh, he doesn't show this, he doesn't show that. Passion isn't just about knee sliding and fist pumping and all of a sudden try to fight people on the pitch. That's not the only thing passion is. It's not being a knee slide merchant and kissing the badge all the time. It's not being Scott McTominay and flipping all these guys. That's what people think passion. It's not all about that. Passion is about getting the ball on the halfway line, dribbling. Does Messi have passion? I'm actually does because do you think Messi has passion when you watch him? Does it look like he's walking around flipping, tackling people left, right, and center? Does he do that all the time?
Are you saying this season or throughout his career?
I'm talking throughout his career. What does Messi do for most of his games?
I think Messi has passion.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't have passion, but what I'm telling you is that people think passion is just, oh yeah, running around chasing the ball, doing Daniel James stuff, always tracking back 100%, blah blah blah, running like a headless chicken. That's not what all passion is about.
Mm. Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
Ma-
yeah. I
Look
agree.
at Neymar. Do you see Neymar ever track back in his life? Imagine me being the coach telling Neymar to go track back and chase the left back. He's gonna tell me to go suck my mom, bro. He's gonna be like, "Yo, are you a dickhead? I don't do that, bro."
Yeah,
These players, these technical players, they don't always have to track back. They also have to track back. No, because when he does on the ball, he give you that quality. You don't have to track back. Sometimes all you need to do is play the game at a walking pace, bro. It's not that difficult. All you have to do is play the game at a walking pace, and that's what some of the best players in the world do. You don't see Messi running up and down the wing trying to help out his right back. He's like, you know what, give me the ball and I'll just dribble past five guys and put it in the top corner. Simple. Hazard didn't do it. Grealish tracks back, but his main job is to track back. Zaha doesn't track back. A lot of these players don't track back, but what they give you the quality on the ball, it makes up for everything. So when you say passion, it's not just about knee sliding and like I keep like fist pumping in the air and flipping, spinning the opponent's faces and attacking the referee. That's not what all passion is about. It's about what do you do in the big games and from what I've seen since Jesse Lingard has gone to West Ham, he scored against every single top six team I guess he's played against. And it's
yeah.
not even about the goals. When you watch this guy, he gets the ball. He doesn't do anything ridiculously. He doesn't do a crazy skill. What he does, he's direct. He runs at the defense. He gets a foul. He gets a free kick. He's in the box. He's constantly everywhere. He doesn't play number 10. He's constantly moving all around the pitch, trying to affect the game. What I'm saying is that if you put him in the right system, I don't see uh, uh why he can't lead a team to top four finish. He's doing it right now. He's doing it right now. If you give him people behind him like Declan Rice, you know, Noble, Suchek, and all these guys who can, take the pressure off of him in terms of doing the work rate stuff, the quality he can give you on the ball, you've seen it this season. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. It's simple. It's sometimes like to complicate things in football. Sometimes it's just simple. Just give a play freedom. Look at what happened. I know I'm banging on. I know I'm talking a lot, but yeah. Look at what Pogba did yesterday. Look at what Pogba did. Pogba yesterday against Tottenham moved him out to the left. All of a sudden, he's playing like a prime sedan. Why is that? Because he has the freedom. All you need to do is to give these players the freedom, and then you see they show their class, man. That's it.
Okay. Of course. That is a relentless. And those are his thoughts. Really, really, really.
Did you
Um.
do a match? Did you do a match reaction yesterday? So
Yes, we did. We did a match reaction. I think 1 hour long.
mm, uh,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
We did a match reaction. I think YouTube is, it will take time to uh, get back the notifications and so on because I've not been live for, for some time now.
Yeah, but did you like the game yesterday? I thought we played well, man.
Yeah, but
It's decent.
I think it was decent, but for me, it's not the quality I want. It's not the quality I want. You
I
know,
mean,
just imagine if we had played the same way we played against United in the in the first leg. Um, you know, that's the quality I want. That is top quality. That is what I want to see. The way we played against Chelsea, that is the quality I want. I think against Sheffield, yes, you're gonna say it's decent, but I wasn't so much of satisfied. I don't know whether I'm just too greedy, but I think we need to do better. We were coming from back from disappointing results, so I think it was important win, but I was not so much of satisfied. I didn't see extraordinary things, throughout the game. I only saw, sneak peeks, or 2 or 3 times when Arsenal was brilliant. The rest of the time, we could have the ball, give it away, then Sheffield United could get it. They could move forward. Yeah, but it was decent. It was decent. I just got to be, grateful. It was decent.
for me, in the first half, I know some people were saying it was boring, but all these guys, all they look at is goals, man. For me, I think the build-up play was between Martinelli, Lacazette, Saka, Pepe. Even though I think Pepe misplaced a couple passes, the link-up play between those four, Ceballos. Well, how many plays did I just name? 5 plays. They were all just doing little circles, you know what I mean, little patterns of play, little quick 1-2 passes. For me, if we need to play like that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So Arteta should play that same five or whatever. Or if Odegaard comes back, add Odegaard to that in place of ceballos or whatever. Go get those two, on the training. Get all of those guys on the training ground. Keep playing that little patterns of play that we're playing. And at times, you playing some good football. Not even leading up to the first goal. You
Yeah.
having quick passes. For me, that's the kind of football that I want to see at Arsenal. Man, that was decent. The back heels, a bit of flair. It was entertaining to watch, man. I didn't think it was that boring as other people were saying. I actually think we played really well. Like,
I don't think
I
it.
think Pepe was a bit poor though, but
Yeah,
other
people was
than that, we played well.
yeah, a bit silent. I think Martinelli was good. I think Lacazette was good. But what I'm saying is, if you compare Arsenal, the Arsenal that played United, and the display we put up against Sheffield, which one do you think was better? The Sheffield performance or the United performance in the first leg, that 1-0 victory?
Against what, Man United
Yeah,
at Old Trafford? You talking about?
yeah.
The Sheffield United performance was better than that. I think it was better than that. In terms
Yeah,
of what do you mean by performance? You mean in terms of like what do you mean? Because the way I look at performance is the way the team moved the ball.
exactly.
How
But
they for me that Man United, like I almost fell asleep until we scored. So because we were just pinned back. I think Sheffield United. Wait, are you talking about Manchester United?
yeah, I'm saying that the game we played against Manchester United, the first leg at the Old Trafford, we
No,
scored
no,
very late.
no,
We scored
I think
very
the
very late.
Sheffield
But
United performance was better. I think
you
the
think,
Sheffield United performance was better in terms of the football that we played in
mm,
the first half and in the second half. How we were clinical with our chances and the good finishes from Lacazette. And no, I think we played well in that game. I think in terms of the Man United game, that game had 0-0 written all over it. I was surprised when we actually scored because if we
mm.
would have never got a penalty, I think it would have been a 0-0 game if I remember it correctly. So for me, I think we carved them open with good patterns of play with the Sheffield United game yesterday. So for me, that performance was one of the best performances of the season, in my opinion, man.
All right, thank you for coming on Relentless. I have to end it at this. My problem is internet. So anyone who wants to sponsor my internet, please hit me on those numbers. I can't do the long live streams for 2 hours and 1.5 hours. Problem is internet. So, but thank you so much for coming on Relentless. I really
Yeah,
do
big up,
appreciate.
man.
Yeah.
Also starting a YouTube channel. You guys can check it out.
All right,
Relentless
bro.
Sports Hub. Big up
All right.
everybody, man. Big up
All right.
Cuzzy as well, man.
I should be. I should be on there. I should be on there.
All right, later, bro.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. That's been relentless, and of course, you've been discussing much about Bissouma, Buendia to Arsenal, and like I said, he's gonna start his own YouTube channel. So probably we have to go there and support him. He's a very good Arsenal fan. He's been there, and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a show at this time. But if you want to support me, the numbers are scrolling on my screen. Please feel free to hit me on their WhatsApp, or you can just call in, or you could just anything you can manage that we can keep this thing going. I sign out for now.